Do you try hard or do you not try at all? That is the question that we are going to unpack on today's episode of 50 Shades of Shilamida. Welcome to the show today. I'm super excited to be recording this for you today. And this is probably the earliest I've ever recorded anything. It is 8 a.m. and it's actually vacation day. We are heading to the Bahamas, but our flight is delayed. And so I had a little bit of time and I figured, let me start recording because this question is what I've been pondering and contemplating the last week or so. Because in sheer vulnerability, I will share with you that on a mentorship call that I was on the other day, I had, said something like, I just sometimes want to give up, right? I came back from this amazing trip in Miami where I was with some of the most amazing people and I see how successful they are. And I don't compare myself to anybody, but sometimes I just get frustrated. In regards to the podcast and the YouTube channel, like I was told that if I was consistent for, a certain amount of time with a certain amount of shows, I would get an influx of followers and people watching. And the truth is, the podcast and the YouTube show ratings aren't the best. I am so grateful for every single person that watches and listens. And that's why I keep doing it, because it's a lot of fun. And I feel like this information is important out there in the world in my mission to try to help everybody live out the life of their desires, right? I came onto a mentorship call and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I try to do what I've been told to do, right? Everybody has always told me, oh my God, you would be such a great podcast hostess. So I went and I started a podcast. And truth be told, I never listened to a podcast before in my life. Well, maybe that's not true. I did listen to a friend of mine podcast, maybe like 2 or 3 episodes, but prior to that or after that, there have been no podcasts for me. And truth be told, I've never watched YouTube videos. So in producing a podcast and a YouTube show, there's money that's involved, right? There's people who edit the show, there's graphics that go with the show, there's reels that go with the show. It's just like this whole production. And so I show up to this mentorship call and I'm like, why? When I go on Facebook and I just go live on Facebook, I will have hundreds of people, if not thousands of people who watch me there. So why am I doing this? Like, what is it that I try for in my life, right? At this point, I live a very abundant life, right? So for those of you who might be catching me new for the very first time, thanks for watching. My name is Shilamida. For those of you that have been with me a really long time, you've watched my transformation. I consider myself to be a transformation and lifestyle mentor because I have transformed my life, my body, my businesses, my family. From Food Stamps to First Class is one of my books because that's the story of my life. And the truth is that you just have to believe. But people that have this unwavering faith in Jesus performed these miracles, right? And so in my life, I feel like I've performed miracles and I've seen miracles, and I know so many other people that do the same kind of work, right? So I was an acupuncturist for 10 years. And so I helped babies come into the world. I saved people from going into surgery. I took people off of lifelong medicine, right? So I believe that we are all connected to God and we are all miracle creators and we are miracles. We are literally walking miracles. Like, we came here as a creation and another human carried us and created us and grew us from inside out. It's like still mind-blowing. Like, I carried 3 children inside of me, and it's still mind-blowing that we're capable of doing these things, and we really just take so many things for granted. And we just think because we walk and we talk and we, run and we play and we work and we do the things that these are the things that we're supposed to do. But the truth is that not everybody gets to walk and talk and live out amazing lives, right? And so what separates us, what differentiates us? Is it because some are fated this way, or is it because some are lucky and some aren't, or is it because, some grew up rich and some didn't, or is it because some try really hard and some don't? There's so many reasons as to why people are successful and people are not, people are suffering, people are not, but the main difference that separates everybody is personal development. Because anybody that dives into personal development, their life just gets better and better. They become more beautiful. They literally shift from inside out. And it's the most wonderful thing to ever watch. I mean, like watching someone's transformation. I've done a lot of women's retreats and like one day women events, and the transformation, for those of you that are listening, I have a smile that I'm like beaming from cheek to cheek, because sometimes I'll go in and I'll look at photos and it's just so amazing to watch people's transformations and my transformation, right? Like there was a point where I was 250 pounds and I'm struggling right now with like weight and weight gain, and just allowing myself to like enjoy being where I am without the stressors of I need to be on a diet, and need to be thinner, I need to, right? Like, where do these needs come from? It's all programming and conditioning. And even when you think that you unpack things and you heal things, there's like another layer, right? Like every time you want to up level, there's going to be another layer that you get tested at. And then like shit's going to hit the fan, right? So this week, my 9-year-old, my middle guy, my bruiser, he ended up falling down the basement stairs. There was like a little area rug that slipped and he fell and he sliced his chin open, and it was the most traumatic experience of all time. First aid is not my thing. Long-term mental trauma, personal development, like we're like unpacking the mind. Anyway, so what happens when you start going through an up level is your body goes through ascension symptoms. So for a lot of people, they're going to get sick, right? So when we got back from Miami, a lot of the other women that were there had sick symptoms. And so that happens a lot after you go on retreat or you do a lot of spiritual work, because it's your body recalibrating to like, now you've unlocked a level, right? So in order to like get into that level, you have to take on a lot of things. And, when people get sick, some people, they go into the sickness and they go into victim mode because it's the only way that they know how to receive love. And so I know this very well. I was a emergency room frequent flyer, and everything that happened, I would instantly go the victim route. And so now I live a very different life where we don't even go to doctors here, because I feel that I am so equipped in how to treat my family and how to heal and how to use the things that we've been given by God, Earth, Mother Nature, right? Instead of running to pharmaceuticals, which people think are safe because they're on a shelf, but every single thing you buy off a shelf comes with a side effect. And we've just been conditioned into thinking that it's okay because if it's sold at a drugstore, that it's okay. But I don't know if you guys know that the name of that store is a drugstore. So if you go to get drugs, but they're in a store, they're okay. But if you try to get drugs from like the dude at the nightclub, that's not okay. So I invite you to ponder that thought for a minute, because that was a lot of unpacking for me many years ago. And so back to, do you try hard or do you not try at all? Right? So there's people like me who are like, let me try this, let me try that, let me hustle, let me do this, let me do that. So I've let go of the hustle. And now I'm just like, my goal is to get in front of as many people as I possibly can, because I just feel like the wisdom that I share, it's life changing. Like everybody that has come in contact with me, that lives in my house, that works for me, that is in close proximity of me, I see the ripple of change. And it's just so amazing, because most people are walking this planet suffering, and we didn't come here to suffer. Like, we don't have to do that. So if there was a way to eradicate suffering for all of mankind, wouldn't you be inclined to doing that? But for some people, they don't believe, and so they don't want to end the suffering, because misery loves company. So they would prefer to have everybody around them suffering. But for me, it's the opposite. I'm so happy that I prefer to have everybody around me happy, right? Because like, it's annoying when you have like this happy person around and like your life is not happy. And the thing is that it's not that my life isn't hard. Like, I had an emergency this week, but just know that behind the scenes of the yacht experiences and the travel and the life looks so amazing, there's still a life that is being lived. And the best meme that I saw last week went something like, when you go into a gym, the weights don't get lighter, you get stronger. And it was like the most powerful thing that I had seen, because we think that life gets easier as we acquire things. Like, if we have money, life gets easier. Like, we don't realize that we have to change the inside, because if you don't change the inside and the money comes, you're still going to be suffering. And that just sucks. Like, that was me for a very long time in my relationship with Ben Lover. It's like I was conditioned to suffer. And even though on the outside it looked as though things were okay, like inside I had a lot of things to unpack and to heal and to, let go of, and ancestral things that needed to be cut. And so there's the people that try so hard, and then there's the people who don't try at all. And they wonder, well, why doesn't this happen? Why don't I manifest? Right? Well, so like, I am a master manifester, but some things come so easy. I manifested a luxury vehicle within like a few months that didn't make sense in my life right now, but it's because I detached, right? Like, it was not something that I needed. It was just something that I desired. And I kind of put it out there in the universe, and I didn't have to try, right? I didn't have to try for that. So there's so many examples in my life of things that I've manifested that I really haven't had to try for. But then in the online arena, it's like I am coded for this success, for this fame. For those of you that are familiar with human design, I am like, I'm an emotional projector. So it's like my innate nature to be seen. I have a defined ego center, which just like is like, hello, see me, love me, tell me, right? And so like, I used to have like these visions of me being on stage and people clapping for me, and like me selling my books and my merchandise and going home at the end of the day. And then I got sucked into this coaching world where it was like, well, you have to create these programs and these things, and you need to like sell yourself online. And it's like, I just want to get on stage, like say what I have to say, have people clap for me, buy my book, and remember, and just go process, right? In the coaching world, like, you actually have to have interaction. And part of the reason why I stopped being an acupuncturist is because I wanted to stop the one-to-one interaction, because I only have so much energy to give as a projector. So when I give the message, I want the message to go far and wide, right? And so discovering human design and discovering these things about me and knowing that this is how I operate best, it's hard because the paradigm, the industry, the business coaches, they're telling you to do things a certain way. And really, you're supposed to be doing things like the total opposite. But we get sucked into this knowing that we're supposed to be doing things the way that other people are doing it because they've paved the way. And the truth is that they've paved the way with showing us the evidence of what's possible, right? Like if you're watching me and your life is nowhere near where mine is, but like you love it, you know, I invite you to keep loving it. Don't look at it in a place of envy and jealousy, but look at it in a place of gratitude. If I'm doing it, that means that you are capable of doing it. I wholeheartedly believe that no matter who you are, no matter what color your skin is, no matter how much money you make in this moment in time, no matter what your disability is, it's my belief that if you believe inside that you desire to live a life of leisure or a life of minimalism or any kind of life that you desire, right? For some people, it's the yachts and the jets and the luxury clothing. And for other people, it's the mountains, it's the fair trade, it's the organic. It's a very different spectrum of luxury. Like on one of my mastermind calls that I was on the other day, one of my mastermind sisters asked the question, what does luxury mean to all of you? And, you know, everybody in the room is a 6-7 figure earner, 8. And it's like, luxury is different to everybody. Luxury isn't designer handbags all the time or luxury cars, right? And there's a lot of spiritual work that I had to go through to even be able to live a luxury life and own it. It was very hard for me for a very long time. And sometimes I still circle back and cycle back into those things. So I invite you to think the question, are you trying too hard or are you trying not enough? And can you balance yourself out to do the opposite of what you're doing? So part of my commitment is I am just going to start recording these shows without the big production. I may or may not continue doing 2 shows a week. I may go down to 1 show a week. And I'm just going to do things a little different. I'm going to make my way back to Facebook and Facebook Live because that was where I was able to reach the most amount of people. So if you're watching this for the very first time, you can find me on Facebook at Shilamida Cooperstein right now. My first name is Shilamida. My website is www.shilamida.com. You can go check out some of my past work. You can go into the Shill Shop. All of my books are in the Shill Shop. I have an amazing book called 31 Days of Gratitude, Create the Life You Desire. It's actually a journal. It's not just a book, it's interactive and it's super helpful. It's helped thousands of people. There is a second edition of that is coming out soon. It is life-changing. So I highly suggest you go get the book. If you want to read about my story, from food stamps to first class, is the story of my life with affirmations on every chapter. Every chapter is a spiritual lesson, just using stories of my life. And I highly recommend that. It's a super easy read. If you like the way that I speak, I write like I speak. So you could just like read along. It's really good. And then my third book is a kid's book called I Am Grateful for My Life. So you can grab all those on my website. I'm excited for what's to come. I know that an up level is happening right now because of the chaos and craziness that's in my life, but I am going to do what I know how to do, and that is going to be diving deeper into gratitude, being grateful for what's in your life right now, and then being grateful for the things that you desire as though you already have them, like really feeling it inside. It's like, those are the things that I manifested so easily because as much as I believed, I guess there was a part of me that just thought I was dreaming, So when I dreamt of my soulmate, like there was a part of me that didn't think it was possible for me, even though I believed what I was reading and the people that were talking to me the way that I'm talking to you. And I believed inside that it could be possible for me. And so when I dreamed I just dreamed of what it felt like to be unconditionally loved and to be taken care of and to be desired. And, I went and I took all of the things that weren't working in my life, and I was grateful for the opposite as though I already had them. And those are the things that manifested for me the easiest. I hope that you manifest every single one of your desires. If you hang out on Instagram, please come find me at 50 Shades of Shilamida, the number 50. If you are listening to this on your favorite podcast station, you can also watch it on my YouTube channel at 50 Shades of Shilamida. You can go back and binge on some of the other shows. If you are on Pinterest, I am hanging out there as well. I love to hear from you guys. So please come reach out, comment on the show. Let me know your thoughts. Let's dig in deep and contemplate together. That's how we grow and we expand. I love you so much. Take care.